Revelations chapter 9, verse 10. If you have your Bibles, go ahead and get those out. We're going to be breaking this verse down by phrases. If you have your Bibles, it'll be easier for you to keep up. Revelations chapter 9, verse 10 reads, "And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months." The phrase, "and they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails," proclaims the manner and way in which they will torment men. They will sting people just as a scorpion stings people. But there is no evidence that the hundreds of millions affected will be able to visibly see these creatures. And in fact, of their stings will be so bad that men shall seek death, actually desiring to die, but will not be able to die. Verse 6. So while this sting will be similar to that of a scorpion, it will be far, far worse. As far as its effects are concerned, exactly what it will do to the human body, we aren't told. However, we do know that the pain will be awful. One can well imagine the diagnosis of many doctors and medical scientists at this particular time. Of course, many will see these very scriptures in the Bible and point to that as the cause. However, the far greater majority of the world will simply not believe the Bible, attributing this problem to something else. The phrase, "and their power was to hurt men 5 months." So we started out, "and they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months." May well close out the first half of the Great Tribulation, which will be 3.5 years. These passages tell us several things. First of all, we know from verse 4 that the 144,000 Jews who will have accepted Christ, plus any Gentiles who have been redeemed, will not be affected. We also know from this fourth verse that this plague will take place in the Middle East, probably covering as well parts of Europe and northern Africa, which is the old Roman Empire territory. It is also indicated that every single person in that region, which will number hundreds of millions, will be affected, with the exception of those just mentioned. And that concludes Revelation chapter 9, verse 10.